Joining me now is my guy, Mike Reiss from ESPN, who was out there at the Combine in Indianapolis.
Yes.
I know you liked what you saw, but what's your biggest takeaway?
Yeah, so this you heard from Dan's piece. This was the first time we get to hear from Mike Vrabel, Elliott Wolf since the Super Bowl. So, Steve, you get a feel for what they're thinking and how they might approach this offseason. And I will tell you, my biggest takeaway that I wanted to know going in was, would they just put all the chips in the middle of the table, throw them in there, and say, go get the biggest fish in the pond in a trade, whether it's Max Crosby, A.J. Brown, and give up the farm, Steve. Like, give up the 2 first-round picks and a starting defensive player like the Packers did for Micah Parsons, or give up the 2 first-round picks for Sauce Gardner like the Colts did. And I came away from the Combine decisively feeling like the Patriots don't feel like that's where they are right now as a team, like that they're not that proverbial one player away, that they can just give out first-round draft picks as if they're nothing. Like, they still want to build this thing out. They feel like they need more depth and competition across the roster. So that's not to say they won't investigate those type of players, but I don't think they would come close to paying that type of price.
All right, so let me ask you this. How is this draft different knowing that they're picking 31 instead of at the top?
I mean, I think it's huge, Steve, right? I mean, because at pick 4, you know, basically the top four guys.
Right.
31, you don't know who's going to fall to you, and so it's almost like the way the Patriots were drafting under Bill Belichick for like 2 decades. Remember all that? And you're like, who's going to be there? And can you get a Logan Mankins? That's what I would say. Do you remember him? 2005, they picked him 32nd, right? And he was one of the best offensive linemen in team history. If they could pull something off like that, to me, that would be a successful start of the draft for them.
Free agency. That's what I want to touch on, because I think players want to come here now.
Yes.
And the biggest name on my board, because I got a board.
I love your board, Steve. I want to see that board.
A.J. Brown.
I love that you love A.J. Brown.
A.J. Brown.
Well, what do you love about him?
Top-notch receiver.
Yes.
Can catch.
Yes.
Dangerous. #1 receiver.
So would you give up your #1 pick, 31, for A.J. Brown?
At 31?
Yeah. Would you give up that pick for him?
I would.
You would?
Yes.
For A.J. Brown?
Yes.
And that means you're probably not bringing back Diggs at that point, and you're trading out Diggs for Brown, and you're going to build you got 10 other picks.
I wouldn't give up the 4th pick in the draft.
Yeah.
But at 31,
yeah,
I would do that for A.J. Brown.
So, Steve,
you know what? Because you don't know. The 31st pick could be a bust.
That's very fair.
Right? A.J. Brown is a proven player.
And that's very fair. It could also be Logan Mankins. And for me, it's a little rich to give that up, but I respect it. No, I do. I respect the opinion, and I think a lot of people, Steve, would be on your side of the ledger on that, because A.J. Brown with Drake May could be really, really exciting. I think part of that is you're taking on a contract, and you're giving up a potential rookie on a 5-year contract. But if that's something the Patriots are willing to do, it would be certainly a firecracker to this offseason coming off the Super Bowl appearance.
More players want to come here. Agree with
that? I like that
That's
point,
where I want to go
Steve.
there.
I like that point, and I think it starts with Mike Vrabel.
Of course it does.
The whole culture that he's instilled here, and also Drake May. You know, people want to come to play with Drake. He's an exciting young quarterback, and so I think that can work in their favor. But I also don't want to be naive, Steve.
Money.
It's about money.
So
if the money is the same, if the money's the same, Steve, I think the tiebreaker we talk about, but ultimately it's going to come down to that.
All right, so who are they going to pay and who are they going to let go?
Okay.
Let's start with Diggs, can we?
Yeah, Diggs is an interesting one, Steve. It's not the best answer for compelling sports final show. I could see it going either way.
Well,
I really could.
6'7"?
6'7". See, I could see it going either way.
Really?
I could, because in one respect, like, the money goes up a lot, and you ask yourself,
Mike, he's going what, from $3 million to $26
well, it's like 7
million?
to 26 in that range, and I think, Steve, it's 80. Well, where are you going to get 85 catches for 1,000 yards? Where's that going to come from if you don't pay him? And I know you're going to tell me A.J. Brown. But
A.J. Brown.
I know, but Steve, the likelihood that's going to happen to me is a lower percentage chance. That's just my gut on A.J. Brown, okay?
All right.
So to me, there is a production element to this. Now, you could push back on me and say, well, Diggs going to be 33, and what are the chances it is 85 and 1,000 yards again for him? And that's a fair pushback. And so that's sort of the push and pull of this whole thing. Kayvon Chaisson, pass rusher.
Pay him.
Well, Steve, that might be $10 million a year. That was one thing from the combine, talking to people,
like
two
he was
executives.
one of their best defensive players.
And so that's what it'll
Christian
take.
Gonzalez, pay him.
Yeah,
Kayvon Chaisson, pay him.
Steve, me and Steve are on the same category. We love spending other people's money. No, but I agree. Steve, I agree. I would pay Gonzalez, no question, top of the market deal. Chaisson is an interesting one, Steve, because maybe you can find the next Chaisson. They signed him last year for 1 year, $3 million. And so maybe you can find a guy that you can coach up like you did with him and pay a little bit less so you can pay someone else.
Are these guys willing to take a break?
No, I don't.
Stay here and play here?
I shouldn't say no off the top of my, head like that. But I think ultimately, like a guy like Chaisson wants to get paid, And I think Jalen Hawkins, I think, maybe with the safety, a starting safety, where this system fits him so well.
I'm asking one more question. I've got about a minute left.
Yeah.
Biggest need?
For me, Steve, and I know I like this because you and me have disagreed a little bit on this segment. I just am so influenced by what we saw in the Super Bowl and the pounding that Drake took and that they couldn't
So you're going offensive
control.
line?
I'm going offensive line, and I know what you're going, Steve. You want that number one receiver. And we are going to agree to disagree. I love you so much. I love that we can sit here at the same table and have two differing opinions, and you can be so disappointed in me. You can be so disappointed.
You got two young guys that you picked in the offensive line.
Yes. And they'll get better.
And they're going to get better.
Yes.
You can coach that line up.
Yes.
Doug Marrone did a great job with the offensive line, except in the Super Bowl, where they fell apart.
Yes.
Right? But for the most part, those guys are going to get better.
Yes.
Agree?
I do, and I'm going to use your argument to receivers. Maybe Kyle Williams can be a bigger part of this. Efton Chisholm can be a bigger part of this going forward. I know they're not number one, Steve. He's going to go number one. He's going to write it down. A.J. Brown, this is what he wants. The best. You're the best.
AJ.
You're the best, Steve.
Brown.
Give it to me. I love you. I love you.
What can Brown do for you?
I love you so much.
All right, Mike.
Great stuff,
Thank you very much.